Have you ever felt completely lost despite consuming so much content on a topic? In a complex game like Starcraft 2, it's very easy to be bombarded by content and feel pretty overwhelmed on how to play. Many players have their own playstyle or philosophy, and it's not always straightforward as to what to do. Well, today, that might change. I'm going to present to you an introduction on how to improve and rank up in Starcraft 2, which honestly could also apply to many different realms of life because I strongly believe that some of the skills you develop in an area, say Starcraft 2, can be brought in many other areas of your life. So to kick things off, I'll start by saying that not all actions are worth the same. There's a hierarchy of priority and it's crucial to respect it if you want to maximize your improvement and fun while playing because obviously we all know getting stomped isn't super fun, especially when your opponent cheeses or all-ins the crap out of you. So the bottom of the pyramid, the most important thing to do is macro. There's a reason why Uthermal and such yell at you to make workers consistently, because you actually have to. Skipping a round of probes or SCVs is direct damage that you do to yourself and it's not provoked by your opponent. Although it can try to harass you to split your attention, but at the end of the day, skipping a round of workers is like hitting the ball against the net. It's a direct fault, and you can only blame yourself. So making an SCV or a probe takes 12 seconds, or a bit less if your Nexus is being chrono boosted, which it should be very often in the early game, but I'll come back to it later. Every 12 seconds, you'll have to make a new worker. If it's hard to make them consistently one by one, you can queue a second one just to be sure you're never missing a beat. But try avoiding queuing more than two at once because the minerals spent in a queue line are minerals that won't be available to build other stuff, like a gateway or a unit for instance, which ultimately will delay your build and everything else. So try to discipline yourself and get the worker habit in your muscle memory. One tip that helps lots of players is while watching replays, open the production tab and pay close attention to patterns when you actually cut workers. Very often you'll find that you cut them at a specific time, when you've got something else to do, for example. Say you want to start making a Colossus and a third base, and you notice at that time you forget to make probes. Well, next time you're in this situation, try to remind yourself to build them at this specific moment, or ask a friend or a coach to yell at you like I would. The second most important thing is directly correlated to the first one, and it's build orders. And here I'm not talking about copying builds from Hero, Serral, and other pro players. I'm talking about having a build that's somewhat optimized and that makes sense. The reason why you follow a build is to have as many units, workers, upgrades, or whatever as early as possible. Some builds will prioritize safety, others will be greedier. And some builds aim at doing a certain attack, like a 4-gate blink for example, in which your goal with this strategy would be to hit as early as possible with as many stalkers as possible in order to either outright kill the Terran or at least get the edge. And it's totally possible to make your own builds as long as you understand the logic of a build. Think of it this way. Imagine you have an appointment and you must leave in an hour from now, but you need to cook, eat, and shower before you leave. In what order are you going to do these things? Ideally, you would cook first and shower while your food is cooking and then eat. So you optimize your time to make sure you're not late. Now, had you showered first, you would have missed the opportunity to use the cooking time to do something else and ultimately causing you to be late. Well, in StarCraft 2, it's exactly the same. And will people ask me in a Charged Archon with a Prism strategy whether they should make the Robo or the Twilight Council and Forge first? The answer is simple. You make the Twilight Council and the Forge first, of course. Why? Because while Charge and +1 are researching, you have plenty of time to get your gates and your Prism. Now, if you build the Robo before, your Prism will be done far before Charge is complete, and thus ultimately delaying the push, which means you made your Robo earlier, and yet the build is delayed. Sounds a little counterintuitive, doesn't it? If your upgrades are complete 1 minute before the attack, there's a good chance your build is not optimized. So pay attention to pro Terrans, for example. Oftentimes they have Stimpack, +1 attack, and 2 medevacs showing up all at the same time. This allows them to have as many units as they can while only getting the upgrades and tools when they really need them. had they researched +1 attack earlier, there's a good chance the minerals and gas invested there would have delayed the Marine Marauder production a little bit, which would have made the attack they aim for weaker, while not giving them any benefit, because they would still need to wait for Stimpack and a 2 minivats to complete. So build orders are all about optimization. And when it comes to guides and strategies, there are many resources that you can find. If you play Zerg, Lambo, and Pig have great contents, for instance, just to name these two. For Terran, you have your Thermal that has plenty of very fun and versatile build orders. When it comes to Protoss, the subreddit and Discord, all things Protoss can be very helpful. And of course, I'm going to do my little advertisement here. I'm offering coaching or mentoring for people of all levels. We do one-on-one sessions in which I can guide you in real time, watch and analyze your replays, share personalized builds that fit your style, give you my opinion and advice, and also help you in the mental aspect of things. As a competitor and someone who's very passionate about psychology, I've learned a lot along the way to deal with ladder anxiety, performance issues, tilting, and all the things of that sort. So join the Discord in the description below if you want to book a session with me. Now, a build is a bit like a map. You have your destination in mind. That destination could be a timing attack with Steam and 2 minivacs, or a Charged Archon attack. Remember, your goal is to reach your destination as quickly and safely as possible. If your opponent is throwing rocks at you, try to stay on course and remember what your destination is. Here are some easy rules. Always chrono boost your Nexus aggressively in the early game. Terran has mules and Zerg has injects, so use your tool as much as you can. The earlier you chrono your probes, the more minerals you'll get later, making your attacks quicker and stronger. Paradoxically, playing greedier could make defending all-ins easier, simply because you have more money to work with, allowing you to produce more units, build more batteries, reinforce your wall, or whatever is needed. So when you learn a new strategy, try to focus on only one build at a time in any given matchup to memorize it thoroughly. Use the supply in the top right hand corner of your screen as well as the in-game timer as tools to hit your benchmarks. Always get your buildings as fast as you can. If you have 300 gas when your target goes down, you easily could have made it earlier, as it only costs half that price. A good way to see if you're improving from game to game is to compare the supply and the timing at which you're attacking your opponent. Did you attack 10 seconds earlier with the same supply? Did you attack at the same time but with 4 more units? If so, congratulations, you've just improved. Nail your build and print it in your head. This will make the muscle memory work for you. And in the long run, with less energy spent on having to think about what building to make or what unit to produce, you'll have more attention available to improve other areas of your game, such as your unit control, multitasking, and so on. Another mistake that I see very frequently is that you'll find yourself making a Twilight Council and a Forge before your natural geysers, gases 3 and 4 if you will. Always get both your geysers in natural before. How the hell are you going to afford upgrades and a Templar Archive without them? This error is very typical and leads to delaying your build big time, and you'll float over 1,000 minerals while being broke in gas. And then it's a bloody catastrophe, so don't make that mistake. If you want to tech up, get your gases before. When you have 10 to 12 probes in your natural, this is a good moment to think about getting your assimilators down, because if you make them too early, on the contrary, you'll be short on minerals. It's all about the balance. And at last but not least, be decisive. If you're an aggressive player and you want to hit a certain timing, then do it, but do it in a way that makes sense. If you're making a forge just to attack before your upgrades are complete, how does that make any sense? Wait for the damn upgrade to be done, or don't make the forge at all, but make a choice and stick to it. If you're a rather defensive player, fine. Tech up, get your high quality units such as High Templars, Tempest, Immortals, and so on. Spend the extra minerals on static defenses like batteries and cannons, and on War Prisms and Zealots to counterattack. Very often I see defensive players make an absurd amount of low tier unit and end up at maximum supply with 1,000 Zealots and Stalkers because they were so terrified to die to an all-in. And guess what? they'll lose anyway to a more advanced army from their opponent, and will in fact provoke exactly what they were afraid of in the first place, right? So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy if you ask me. So always know where you're headed, what your plan is, and stick to it. Always be true to your playstyle as much as you can. You're not gonna win with your weaknesses, you'll win with your strength. Anyway, that was a short video. I hope that helped. Remember to join my Discord in the description below, and I'll see you very soon.